Hey everybody, it's a cool September morning and we're not going to be in the field today, but now's the time you repair everything you broke during harvest, and that starts with a new tire on the disc vine. That is a blown bearing on the front of the feeder house on the 4400 combine. But before we get to that other stuff, we have a blown seal on the cylinder on the John Deere baler. Now this is the big cylinder that shoots the bale pan and sends the bales back into the wagon. So what we noticed is, as we were baling, we would throw bales that would be perfect right up on top of the wagon where we wanted them. And then that would be followed by a bale that went shooting way up over the wagon and landed in the field. And then the next bale, for a reason I can't explain, would just barely get in the wagon. All that happening without changing any adjustments on the baler. It was driving me crazy. I couldn't figure out why. So what we determined is the hydraulic cylinder was losing pressure and would intermittently build up high amounts of pressure and then have low amounts of pressure and throw inconsistently because it was leaking hydraulic fluid out of the rear seal. You can actually see where the hydraulic fluid has been pouring down the cylinder. Just so happens that my friend and neighbor Brent has one of these sitting on his rock pile. So first job is to get this one off, and then we'll get over to the rock pile and we'll salvage the replacement and then put it back together. A heavy cylinder. With bushings at each end. This thing's kind of a beast. There, installed and not dripping. So this should be ready for next baling season. Meanwhile, we'll take the other one and have new seals put in it. So the baler is packed away here in the old barn, kind of wedged in. The round baler back in the corner, and then the square baler here. On a nice gravel pad. So it's all put away in the barn adjacent to the hay mow where it's nice and dry. Well, it's kind of a foggy, yucky, cool day today. We've had an inch of rain so far, which we really needed. But it means I really can't bring the combine out and around over into the shop because the tail end hangs out and I don't want to get it rained on. So I'm going to start disassembling this header back in here. I need to get the belts and the chains off, disconnect the feeder house from the combine, and when I've got it all taken apart, then I'm going to run it out in the weather quick between showers so I can drop that header down out of the way and add into the pole barn. Well, that was a miserable job getting this feeder house off. It's all blocked up here. And now you can see the problem. Bearing completely lunched right there. We've got the feeder house and the header off the 4400 John Deere combine, sitting here in the pole barn. And I've got my mechanic friend coming over, going to do a brake job on this baby. We thought now would be the time. The brakes have gone from weak to non-existent, and so climbing underneath here for brakes just seemed like a miserable job. So I'm going to pay somebody to do that for me. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel on this beautiful fall morning. You can see an amazing blue sky, and we're getting color in the leaves. And look at me, I'm wearing, this is the first time I've worn a coat since, I don't know, May, maybe April. And so we've got, as always, when things arrive, it's my favorite, bearings that have arrived. And this big mess is the feeder house of the combine and the bearing that was lunched. The bearings arrived now, and we've done some work on preparing all this for reassembly. Oh man, is that ever dirty. Yuck. There, with the chain connected, the clutch connected, the feeder house and the header are ready to go back on the combine. So what we've got to do is I've got to drive this in carefully so that the feeder house fits right into the saddles that are right down underneath my feet here. And I'll hold the brake while Don guides me in. And then we'll hook up the two hydraulic cylinders that are wired up right beneath me here. So I can swing the back end around. All right. Ready to go? So we got the pins in. We got the hydraulic cylinders in. And now we're backing around. Definitely a tight fit over in this 16-foot door. But it is so nice to have brakes back again. The old girl does what you tell her to do. Well, that took a little longer than I wanted, and you can see I've still got the shielding open. I don't have this belt and this pulley on yet. And all my tools are still sitting up there. But it's back in. So we had a hard time on the other side getting it back far enough in there as we drove the combine forward to get this pin down. But it's in place now. And we had a hard time getting the hydraulic cylinders in because that flotation piece right back there was tilted. So the cylinder ends didn't want to go in where they belong. But it took some blocks and a little persuading. And now she's all back together. But I've run out of time for today. Sun's on the way down. So I'll be back at it tomorrow or the next day and get all these belts and pulleys put back on. And then the combine can be put away. And all the repairs we need to do are done for next season. And she should be ready to get right out and put in the field. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Everybody needs help from their favorite cat. This is Mouse. She's probably looking for mice around this combine because combines are always surrounded by mice.